Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, inflation. Let's talk about this again. We got CPI numbers in this morning. Some say they're good, some say they're not good, but let's kind of look at it. All right, so we're going to talk about core CPI, Consumer Price Index. It rose 0.3% in April, okay, versus March. So inflation from last month is up. Inflation from last year, last April, is down. We dropped to 3.6% versus 3.8%. Okay. Now, you know as well as I do that these inflation numbers are completely cooked. But it's what they go off of to determine interest rates. So could this mean the Fed's going to cut rates? Well, yeah, you have more economists thinking it's likely that the Fed will cut rates rather than raise rates. To give you an idea how much, 50.5% chance of cutting rates. So basically it's a coin toss, okay? Gee, will they do it? Will they not? Well, I'll give you the reason whether they will or not. Gee, would that help Joe Biden's re-election campaign if we cut rates? Yeah, there's your reasoning at this point. Inflation's moving nowhere. They can talk all they want about tenths of a percent and, oh, gee, it's less than it was last year. Great. 2 years ago, we were at, not even 2 years ago, just short of, we were at 9.1. No, Joe, it wasn't when you were inaugurated. We were at 1.4 then, Joe. So if you look at it in that respect, yeah, Joe, you're up 2.5 times the inflation rate that it was under the last truly elected president. So what does this mean? Well, right now, and I was talking about this yesterday, mortgage rates are around 7.75%. If the Fed cuts rates, chances are they're going to do it 25 basis points, 0.25% if they did anything. All right, that gets rates back down to 7.5-ish, thereabouts. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. Don't sweat the small stuff here. If you're in the market for buying a house, go for it. The more important point is saving money. If you've got money, and I know a lot of people who watch this channel are my age or older, and so chances are you've got your retirement account in something that's going to generate income from you. I mean, you get to your retirement years, you're really not chasing growth anymore. You're looking for income. It gives you an idea of what to look at in the way of CD rates or bond rates or anything. You should still be able to find paper above 5%, okay? Depending on what your bank offers you, anything of the sort. If they offer you 9% or 9 months, if they offer you a year at anything better than 5%, I'd be jumping on that, okay? Because it looks like inflation is at least stabilized, which means there shouldn't be, God knows that's risky here to say, a reason to raise rates again. So anything that you can find the longest term you can getting this 5% or better, go for it. Because again, if you've got, let's say, a year CD at 5%, and they cut rates, and now CDs are at 4.5%, you're still getting the 5 until that matures, okay? So you're looking at how you're playing the yield curve right now. For savers, this was a decent number. The Fed's not going to do anything yet. Your savings account is still going to pay you the 4.25 or whatever thereabouts it's getting. Your CDs, 5.25, depending on your time frame, but you can still get. You're still good there. Again, if you're buying bonds and you've got something, you're going to hold them to maturity. Who cares what happens with the ebb and flow of the market rate of the bonds. Wouldn't worry about that one bit. You got a 10-year bond that's paying you 4.75 or whatever it is right now. Just hang on to it. You're going to get your principal back plus the 4.75 no matter what happens. You're not a bank, okay? If you have to sell out early, then of course you are subject to whatever the current market rates are. But again, remember this, if interest rates come down, the market value of that bond goes up, okay? And I've explained this a couple of times, but I'll give it to you here real quick. You bought a bond that paid 5%. Interest rates now go to 5.25. Nobody's going to pay you face value for something at 5 when they can go pay face value at 5.25, so the value's less. Works the same way the other way around. You bought something for $1,000 at 5%. Rates come down now to 4.75. Somebody, if they want something on the new market, they're going to pay $1,000 for 4.75. That means your one at 5 is now worth, I don't know, $1,010 or something. You know, the inverted way that prices and yields work is something to understand. If you hold to maturity, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get your $1,000 back plus whatever interest you got. Just giving you that as an idea. But that was what we got today. This is the new normal, okay? And again, I talked about this yesterday too. This is historically where, if you go back all the way to the Depression and work everything out and bust numbers about, this is normal, not the 3% inflation, but where interest rates are. Everybody panicking over, oh my God, mortgage rates are so high. No, they're not, okay? They're historical average. We just got used to cheap money. Savings account rates, pretty close to historical average, okay? CD rates, pretty close to historical average. You know, y'all knew this when you bought a CD or bonds or anything. You didn't buy them to get rich. You bought them to generate safe cash flow, okay? You're just getting paid the interest. You're not worried about the ups and downs and everything as it goes. As for the economy, even though everything sucks right now, that it's expensive, Mrs. P and I just got back from the grocery store and had 3 bags and a 12-pack of soda. It's $120. Yeah. Okay. Crazy. But at least if prices stay stable right now, at least we know what we're in for. We can budget for it. It's not like it's been for the last 2.5, 3 years where it's like, oh, I had $100 budgeted for groceries. Now I got $110. Now I got $120. Now I got $130. Now I got $140 just to buy the same stuff. Even though the prices here suck, at least if they stay steady, we, the public, can get a little bit more comfortable on how much we have to put away for anything. Is this going to change? Yeah, it's an election year. Trust me, they're going to try to massage the numbers any way they can to make Joe look good. That's typical. Just look through it, ride it out. You know, again, if you're in the market to buy a house or whatever it is, okay, I'd still say grab it. We're not seeing a whole lot of change. If rates do come down over the next few years, refinance it. If, like I said yesterday, though, if rates go up, you're gonna be damn happy you got 7.5 or 7.75. Okay, so yeah, that was the big news today. So CPI numbers, but have a good afternoon. We're making strawberry jam. Pinball out.